Mhm.
Making snide comments towards fuck, I forgot
Palmer.
who's working. Palmer.
Palmer.
I have a PhD.
It's all he's
That's
banged on
awesome,
about for the
man.
last 3 days. He's suddenly just on it. Is it the anniversary of his graduation?
Maybe.
All right, so when the morning comes on Monday, uh, y'all gonna get there early, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
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 Nico grabbing like a lots of like papers to presentate for presentation and stuff.
Yeah. Phelan greets you, in the entrance and just says, "Well, you've certainly drummed up a lot of interest in this town meeting."
I figure this is the start of something new and bold. We're gonna need a lot of people to know that.
Oh, let's hope you have something good to blow them away with.
I got plenty. Trust me.
We've got blow.
I haven't got
That'll
something
get people
good.
on
I've
board.
got the best.
All right. Well, we can slot you in after a number of different options. How many do you want to talk before or after most of the other people, most of the other companies?
Figure talk after.
Alrighty. Pencil that in. Alright. Well, just wait for your opportunity to take the stage, and remember, you have a voice just like everyone else who will ask the questions of them do. So if you wanna just stay in the background or engage, it's up to you.
All right. Now, now remember, Nico, Cherry, Palmer, that goes for all you too.
Mm-hmm.
Good need to be on our game today. We gotta be ready with
Got
the
it.
showmanship.
That's what
Okay.
I'm here for.
Yeah, as the town hall starts, a lot of people have filtered in. They're talking about, the situation, they're laying it out as you've heard it. And they start letting people up to sort of give their presentations. And, first up, there's someone from like the chief, like one of like the leading uh creators of the carriages comes up and starts talking about how the public funding is necessary for their whole interest group because they all rely on it to give the people of Custer what they need, to give them their carriages, to ferry them from place to place, and that if you just take it out from under them, things aren't going to get better; they're just going to get worse, and that'll be through no real effort of their part. That'll just be because something was swept up from under them, and that he understands people's concerns with the state of things as they were, but the option is just gut it. The option is to further reinforce it, if anything.
I think our pitch has to be sort of like, so people are complaining. It's like the chaos. The competition is causing problems. Need a consistent system that's not confusing and spread throughout the city. Our advantage is with the centralized power source, it's much more like we're not struggling for each thing. Like that's taken care of. It's easier to like have one united system.
Well, that's what we're gonna
Yeah.
push for. But first, I got his argument was just a bunch of flim flam. Like it was a bunch of we can't fix anything of it, so we got to double down and give it all to me.
And hey, here's the thing: monorail means one rail, one system. unified. See, there's brand identity there. Mono means one.
Now then, someone else comes up. This is actually the person in charge of the taxi company. And he's coming up to say, basically, that, alright, listen, the problem isn't really with, all the competing companies. The problem is with, the city's, own use of its power. Like, they really, they what they really need to do is to spread that out a bit more and give stop hoarding it for other needs and start start contracting it out to more of the companies so that there can be more choices and more of a democratic usage of that resource.
I think this guy is like one of Bright's people, like one of them shockheads addicted to the power.
And if you spread it out a bit more, and especially if you give some of it to my company, well, we are not bound by the lines so much. We do use up the most power of any company, that much is true. But we do also go places no one else can go. And so really, what you need is to, put more, place more, invest more into what we've got going on. Because, and just, put it all in this recharging technology that we have. There we just go by the power plants and we recharge. And then we can just spread throughout the cities from those control centers.
Control centers.
And that's sort of his argument there. And there's someone who comes up from a sort of activist group who sort of says, you know what, it's like, first off, walking is healthy. This city is walkable.
I knew we were gonna get like a return to walking.
Yeah. The city is perfectly walkable. If anything, all these carriages do is obstruct the roads, obstruct foot traffic. And really, we should pull public funding. And in fact, we should outright restrict use of the public power system for these carriages.
I think
Because
we should ride dinosaurs everywhere.
Oh no, I'm just typing up my counter arguments to all of these, and I do not like my counter argument to this one.
And if we really just put all the public funding that has been going towards the transport companies, and we put it into the roads, and we put it into the sidewalks, we put it into all of that, we can just make the city even more walkable. And that people really just need to get more exercise.
Call him ableist.
I mean, yeah, that is the counter strategy.
Be like, here, look at my friend, a blind woman. And Sharon can be like, I couldn't get around without horseless carriages. This person wants me to die.
And she falls over and you really sell the bit.
Yeah.
I can't. And Nico comes out. Did you know that horseless carriages is far more safer and energy efficient? Like, instead of wasting the energy walking there, you could be saving it and have the energy at your destination.
I like the idea that if this was a commercial, it would go from Sherry like, I can't get around without the... And then it cuts to her, like, driving a car blind. This is so much safer.
And then someone else comes up, talks about, how they think, this is sort of just a concerned citizen, saying how they think the roads, the transit system as is just sort of creating a is just sort of creating a divide between the lower income areas and the higher income areas.
Oh,
You know, there's not a lot of
the
rail
London
going
tram network got gutted.
there's not a lot of rail going towards the slums. That's why it's the slums. There's not a lot of rail, by the older power plants in the slums, because they're old and we're not investing in them. And really, if we keep leaving it up to, profit, then people are profit instead of public interest, and people are just gonna. It's just gonna get worse because profit and public interest are at odds. And then as soon as people are starting, especially he starts handing out some pamphlets about coal.
Coal Daddy.
Yeah.
Knew it.
Oh,
Before he's yelled off stage.
We need like Coal Daddy to write The Jungle.
So yeah, that's most of it. Yeah, again, most of what comes after is just more people repeating the same talking points from different companies and different people who are coming up, and eventually, and yeah.
No, Lydian's keeping an eye on the crowd because he's seeing, like, trying to make sure people aren't, like, losing interest, like, filtering out. Like, he wants to, at least, if they're starting to filter out, that's when he's going to start making a show to kind of keep people interested.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
People.
Well, people are mostly being retained because of the food and drink.
Oh, okay. Nice. Food and drink locked them in. People stay for a free lunch.
Locked in.
And eventually some people sort of they all come down, and then the person comes up, all right, and now we have a presentation on another solution offered by a newcomer to the space, one Lydian Minther.
Okay, yeah.
I like the idea that throughout the performances, there's been, like, just spreading whispers and rumors. Hey, what about that thing on the pamphlets? Yeah, when are we gonna see that? Come on, get to the main,
Lydian kind of taps chair, like, just kind of taps chair on shoulder. It's time.
Yeah.
Lydian kind of stands and presumptuously turns and kind of takes before he's even got to stage, takes a bow to the audience before, like, getting, walking up to the stage.
See, I feel like right now, this is what Lydian was kind of made for as a character, like, based off his inspirations as, like, southern megachurch guy, pastor. Like, this is the same type of, showmanship. Talking to the crowd.
Lydian wiping his forehead with his giant handkerchief.
Like Lydian, he kind of walks up to the crowd. He makes a big show of kind of getting up and then just kind of like puts.
Wow. I don't think he's capable of getting up without a big show.
Wow. I'm being put up in your lovely town by one Palmer, who has worked on these lands for so many years, and I may be new to town, but I understand all your concerns. Just getting to the venue today, Lydian kind of looks to the first speaker. Well, I'm sorry, sir, but your service was not adequate.
Like somber, bluesy piano music comes in, underscoring the tragedy. Of
Nico, actually, Nico invented like a little music box. Yes, so this.
What do you mean?
You did not invent the jam box. You did not invent the jam box.
First of all,
the jam box
we have
exists.
jam boxes. Second of all, the entire point of Cherry is that we have a live musician here in the party. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, they're really jumping down your throat, Swede. Get off the stage.
What? You could use a break.
We hate your music box. Boo!
But I just put in the prompts and I get the music.
Say hi.
Now, besides the fact I had to ride the lines getting here this morning, and it was a mighty confusing affair. And so, to the first speaker, I gotta say, you're right. There are too many lines. There are too many competing interests. So I've come here today to consolidate interests and My apologies to the well-intentioned walkable cities, man, but... And Lydian makes a big show of wiping sweat from his brow. Walkable cities in your dreams. There are people out there who can't walk, who can't get too far. There are people who, if they had to go through your walkable city idea, would be losing so much more of their day that they could spend with their families, getting to and from work. You're asking to cut into their lives with your well-intentioned ideas, but frankly not thought through.
Considers huskier citizens.
Am I right, fellas? And
So-
like it pans to the crowd, and like a lot of people are just fat cats. Who just,
Well, we're
And-
scoring very well with the fat demographic.
And well, to the representative of Coal Daddy over there, I say this. Coal is old. Pathaton is moving on.
Wow.
they ju-
Isn't Pathaton also really old? Someone
Yeah.
calls from the crowd.
Yeah, Cole's older though.
Yeah, that could be Nico's
Yeah,
response.
no, this is new and improved.
Now,
What if we rebranded this Pathaton crystal as Coal 2?
I come
N-
here
n-
on behalf of the public, on behalf of one Phelan who has given me the opportunity to speak here today. I may be new to this city, but I've been here long enough to say there are too many lines, and this is where we draw the line.
Oh, that's good.
I have in my employ two eminent, brilliant scientists and engineers. If you might stand up, Palmer and Nico. Nico, you might need to hover a little bit.
Yeah, yes, of course. Nico hovers a bit, and one fat guy just goes, "My word! If I had one of those."
So this party is made up of, a fat man, a blind woman, and like Nico's legs ain't too long either. Like none of us are,
Yeah.
With
sprinting.
a perfect argument against walkable cities.
We really are.
Nico, you could just spin it like, see my poor Nico here. Nico needs special equipment to traverse the city.
So true. Someone calls out, "Hey, why can't we have those? Can we all just get those instead?"
Oh no, Nico, stop hovering. Optical illusion.
Nico is kind of like, oh no, oh dear, the prototype is making me fall down.
Nico
They're actually highly
invents-
carcinogenic.
Nico invents hovering carriages.
Hover car, let's
Oh,
go.
there we go, yeah. We need a magnet line.
Oh, so true.
Now,
Lydian mentally like, hover cart next.
Okay, what if they did like maglev, but like suspended train car maglev, so like the magnets are holding it up to
Oh,
float
God.
in midair.
that sounds
If the
incredibly
magnets
dangerous.
fail, watch out!
when it hits the corner, fucking watch this. There are too many lines. There are too many competing interests. I agree. But everything that all of the rail companies have come up here and said, they're just trying to flim-flam you. They are just muddying the issue. They are private companies engaging in what should be a public interest. Your transport, your city. I'm proposing today that you give it back to yourselves. Take it from them, put it back in your hands.
I put it in mine.
With the Custer Transit Authority, we will start consolidating the rails. We will take back your city and give it to you. Those underserved sections of the city, the only way we're ever going to expand to them is if all of the network is under one line. Expanding, putting money back into the city, investing in infrastructure. Our two scientists over here have been able to work and wrangle Pathaton technology into something that can be used today. And the savings from that will go back into the city.
Yeah, people are starting to make a little bit of a fervor. Let's see. I'd say roll charisma,
Can
but
I
with
assist?
like yeah, with an assist from Nico and Cherry.
Nice.
How many bonds do I have with them? I only have one, so that's 2d6 plus 1.
Cool.
You're in danger if I muck this up.
Yeah.
You're both in danger if I muck this up. Is that a +1 or a +2?
It'd be a +2, so I don't
Okay.
think you can. This might.
It could be a 7 to 9, but oh no, you didn't
Oh.
even need it.
There you go.
The
My
people
God.
are eating out of our hands.
Oh yeah, they're eating it up. Yeah, they're on board.
They're like doing the choreographed dance that they've never learned before.
Monorail. Monorail.
Today I say to you, Custer, muster your future. Take it back.
Wow.
Oh my god.
One of the people from the transit companies points out, he gets up to the podium to ask a question and just says, "All right, and what exactly? Well, sir, what capital do you have? What about what carriages do you have? What to take advantage of these lines? We've built all our own carriages. We've made all our own routes. What have you to present with us? To present?
What I have is one of the public officials aiding me. What you've said there sounds like a pretty good argument. You've all made your own rails, you've all made your own carriages, you've all made your own lines. What you've made is a jigsaw with no solution.
Damn.
Damn.
You have got your hooks
Their
so
rail
deeply
cars
into this city,
exist-
you don't think that anyone can pull them out. Well, I can. I can work.
Their rail
I can
cars-
work. I can work with the public, with the officials, to make optimum rails for the people of this city.
Their rail cars exist in the past and are therefore old. Your rail cars exist purely in the future and are therefore newer than new and better. See, I only know how to argue like Terraboner.
I don't even know how I'm arguing. I'm just saying words.
I mean, that's how you sail.
Yeah.
You sound confident.
I didn't even really make an argument just then. I just basically insulted the guy. And then, and also put a bunch of work on Phelan's shoulders for the future.
I mean, it sounds good to people like it.
That's how capitalism works.
I've written
Remember,
a check,
the
Phelan. Can
point
you
of
cash
this-
it?
To be a true capitalist, the point of this is to not build a successful and profitable rail surface. The point of this is to get a lot of people to invest money in this, convince them to give you a lot of money, and then just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I get my hooks into, Custarian government. Custeran? I don't know what the fucking collective noun is. Custernian?
Esternian. Yeah.
Okay.
And see the person in charge of the taxi company that says, well, you've all said about the rails I have to agree with, but what makes your proposal of just making more of them and consolidating them better than just being free of them entirely? With the system that we've already put in place, we just need more power.
I understand you're the one and only taxi business in town. It's mighty interesting that there's a bunch of different rail lines, but only one taxi company, isn't it? That sounds a little daunting. And it would be in your interest for the rails to shut down. Can you actually offer an argument to the people why it would be in their interest that the rails shut down?
Well, yeah, we'd have our we'd be free
You'd have
of rail.
even more. You'd have even more control over them. You would have no reason, to send your prices down when they have no other options. In fact, the other options are the only thing keeping them as reasonable, he says with big quote fingers, as they are right now.
See, now you actually could use all the anti-car stuff, too. Like, you could actually be, Also, I've decided, I know, blah, blah, whatever, I'm gonna call them custies.
Nice.
Oh, no.
Custody
That sounds
government.
awful.
Custies.
Sounds horrible.
Custy's foot.
I like it.
Imagine being a custy.
Well, I turn to the crowd right here and I say, ladies and gentlemen, would you want to hand over your entire transport network to this man?
You know, they boo, and he just like frustratedly walks off.
Lydian, you know what you should call?
You
the
better get a
people of
taxi home.
Ooh,
Ooh, good. You know what you should call the people of Custer?
Mm.
Customers.
Oh yeah. There we
you
go. I don't know if I can work. I probably could work that in, but I wonder if they would take that the right way.
Yeah, no, I don't think that would be a good thing to put in the speech. I think
Yeah.
that's just in your internal monologue.
Customers, suckers.
Wow. Susters.
So
all right. So yeah, the crowd's pretty much won over. They're all agreeing that as you know finish up your speech, you know, and people come, you know, the closing arguments are made and the closing comments are taken. It looks like you've secured that contract for sure.
What if instead of Custer, it was pronounced Cooster?
Maybe that was the old
Understood.
pronunciation before modern Hemlock came in.
Yes, coasters.
I don't know what possible etymology you could get into with that, but maybe it's like where they kept all the roosters at some point. It was the coop of the roosters, and then
Oh, so true. That turned into Crooster, and then Cooster.
So yeah, they're saying that you know, they're going to go over, you know, the public funding now with all this public fervor and taken into account, and they're going to reward a contract soon.
ladies and gentlemen, today is the start of a new day for Custer. You will not regret it.
All right. So as the people filter out, Phelan approaches and says, "Oh, that was definitely a show you put on."
Yeah, it was
Going to
indeed, and now we gotta
going-
show him something for it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He did bring up the leader of the rail interest group did bring up a point. What about the carriages?
Well, let's start talking then. I don't know how much there is in the public spending, but we need to secure a model that's good, that's cheap, and that could be integrated with Pathatan technology. Something that could move a lot of people in a decent rate, and you know, something reliable.
What if a big box?
Maybe, and like Lydian kind of turns. Actually, yeah, Lydian turns to Palmer. You're an engineer. You know the models. What are we looking at here? Perhaps we could make something new. Might be a good
Well,
idea
yeah.
to might be a good idea to standardize,
Cherry
make things
points
less
out,
complicated.
if you could get, the previous ones to, shut down, close, and sell, maybe they see the writing on the wall, maybe there's a PR disaster, you could probably buy up their carriages cheap, and they might be retrofittable.
That's a mighty fine idea, Cherry. Phelan, might be time to start reaching out and tell them as such.
We need to sabotage the other businesses.
The winds of change are blowing, and could be a good time to cash out.
Right. That might be a good angle. But
And think
let me
about it this
see.
way. You saw how big public support for that was. You should have no problem securing more than enough funding for something like this. I mean, in the name of raising funding for this, you could probably raise funding for all kinds of things. Come on, let's bring in pork barrel spending.
Now then, let's see. He then goes, well then, so Palmer brings up, so I've, I went over all the rail maps that we had, and drew up a few ways we could rejigger them around the new power source and and even add on new ones to go to different parts of town that the rails aren't serving as well. Now, this will all depend on an undertaking to install the power source somewhere. Well, I've determined the best power source would be somewhere near Custer, somewhere inside Custer Park. That would be the best place to put it. And Nico, I believe you've come up with a model for the power source itself.
Exactly, Nico just whips out like a stack of papers. As you can see, I put it in a very simple terms. It should be easy to figure to, but it should be fully. We should easily we should easily be able to afford this.
Oh god, I just realized. In character, I don't think any of us would recognize this, but like, fucking Bright, like, his gang, they're gonna go nuts over this. Getting a fucking Pathaton crystal, like, in the fucking park, they're gonna... This is, like, they're all jerking off right now. They're so excited about this shit.
It's not for jerking off about, it's for public transport. What is now public
These were the people Silvana was fighting, remember? Like, with Axe and everything? They were all about the, like, magical power generators.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah. They were all getting high on that stuff.
On it. They're gonna go crazy for this. We're giving them such a gift. We'll be
And
heroes
Custer
to them.
Park, we'll need to go with the guard on that one. That'll be its own little hassle. Alright, this is workable, but I'm going to need some time to argue all the minutia. And keep in mind the other companies will be making moves while this is happening.
Oh, they're going to be reacting. I'm going to need information on what they're doing so I might be able to keep them at bay if they try and do anything to interfere with our plans. Because I imagine they're going to be a lot more resistant to change than the everyday person is.
Certainly will be. They've got their own friends on some of the boards, so looks like you will have to argue together.
Well,
Cherry points out, well, if you think about it, we'll need to hire people. I mean, we need people to run this whole operation, which they definitely have. If, the writing starts looking like it's on the wall and their companies are doing worse and in more dire straits, it could, be advantageous for us to try and headhunt employees from them over. And then the more people with know-how, the more of the people who keep things running leave, the worse they get, the easier it gets to sneak other people away from them. It's a snowball effect.
you're essentially arguing to cause a brain drain in the private companies.
Correct.
Yeah. There's a question I want to ask Palmer, but not in front of this guy.
Cherry, does sort of whisper a bit more. And, I'm just... The more bad publicity some of the rival companies get, the better for us. It will make it easier to pry people away, and once the momentum is on our side, it's over, but... Maybe some ill will towards the other companies would be advantageous to us.
Okay, so yeah, Phelan takes all that into account. Says, well, I'm going to go write some things up. And then he gives you, a piece of paper and just says like, this will be a personal note towards you that I can write on. It's a piece of the magical paper, and it just says, if you're needed, if it looks like I'm gonna need backup, then I'll send you places to go, things to reach into.
Sure thing.
We'll be in touch.
See, you thought... I remember thinking, like, Cherry, like, I've been playing her maybe a bit too dark. I need to soften her up a bit. Next session, do a terrorism, cause a railroad disaster to undermine public trust in the rival companies.
Hey, it's not too late for that. I could really just cause the brain drain to happen sooner. Or just
Yeah.
everyone's going, no, we need to consolidate this under the public.
Just we need their train to derail, and it will be a horror, it will be a tragedy, there'll be some death, but then it will be for the greater good because
Like
then
tomorrow
those...
lunchtime, you're just hanging out with Nico at a substation. It's like, hey Nico, can you just reroute power over here? And you just cause a
Yeah.
train to go like 200 miles an hour into a wall.
Just like at a table talking about it with Nico, just all of a sudden like Henry Kissinger is there too. They're having a conversation about real politics.
Or however the only God, the only reference I have of Henry Kissinger talking is for Animaniacs.
Was he alive the last time we played, or was he dead then?
He was dead, I think.
He was alive. I'm pretty sure. No,
Damn.
no. He was dead. He was dead.
Yeah.
Ah,
Who is the Henry Kissinger of the Hemlock?
I hope it's not Cherry. Maybe it's Lydian, honestly. Maybe this is his origin story.
this is before he's killed millions in South America.
Lydian, why would you do that?
Or Southeast Asia, but
Was he?
He
Wait, didn't he
killed
get lots of people
millions in
killed
the-
in Peru? Didn't he do?
no, he did. But like more of his crimes were in Asia. But like yes, he was also involved in South America.
He was he.
Oh.
I don't want to say he spread around.
Yeah. Because there were like phases with the South America stuff, but he was kind of like, because like he was less active in the 80s. Like his heyday was really like 60s, 70s. But no, yeah, he was very much involved in all that.
I just, you know, what the
Fucking
funniest thing is
Pinochet.
the way I first learned about Henry Kissinger was watching 40 Towers when I was like 8, and for whatever reason in 40 Towers, Basil 40's like idea of an important person is showing up. He's like, who do you think's turning up? Henry Kissinger. And to think he was referenced in shows back then, and I had no idea who the
Yeah.
fuck Kissinger was. Just for years, my image of important diplomat, and it's just without knowing anything about the guy.
To me, when I think of Henry or like my first real exposure to him as like a figure was actually in The Simpsons. No one must know I dropped them in.
Yeah, oh yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. Right, so no one must know that I dropped my glasses in the toilet.
Not me.
God, that joke is stuck in my head for ages. Just the fucking.
I just love that Henry Kissinger was just meeting with Mr. Burns. I'll be blunt. Is there a labor crisis in America? Well, that depends on what you mean by crisis. That's one of my favorite fucking jokes in The Simpsons. I think about I think it's just really true how like, as a kid it's like, haha, that's funny. I'm just like, oh, I want to watch the rest of that interview so bad. I want to know what Mr. Meany had to say about like where was he going with that. That depends on what you mean by crisis. I want to see the rest of that interview.
Okay, so as Phelan walks off, and what did you want to ask Palmer? What do you?
Sorry, huh?
What did you want to ask Palmer? Because Phelan
Oh yeah,
walked
so
off.
like, Palmer, you're still employed as an accountant at your company, right?
I don't know if I will be after today.
Well, play it as it lays and see what you can do at your company.
Lay it as it plays.
All right, I'll have to explain my appearance today to some of my coworkers and higher ups, but we'll see how we'll see what I can glean.
I understand you haven't exactly had an opportunity to hand in a 2 weeks notice, but I figure we can work around that. You got another job lined up.
Sure do. Let's hope that contract's in the bag.
Right. Should probably check on Dwight while we got some time today. See how that
Maybe,
little curve
you
is
know,
going.
Dwight could, like, get drunk and pass out and fall in front of a tram as it's moving down the road. And, like, then it's like, oh, this tragedy. This innocent man run over. This is why we need an elevated rail system, so this won't happen.
So only people who jump in the way of the tram get hit. Guess depends on how elevated it is. If it's really elevated, you'd need a really good jump. You'd need axe
or just to be
jumps.
really tall.
You need to be on stilts to get hit by this tram.
At that point, you know, it's like you were trying.
Well, yeah, can you imagine someone on stilts getting taken out by an elevated train?
I don't think the train would take them out so much as it would make them lose their balance, and the fall would take them out.
Oh no, I'm talking about, like, they are raised, like, the elevated from above, and they get fucking smacked by the front of the train.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the train would, like, knock them down, and, like, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I guess it depends on how fast the train is going, how much damage it would do.
And it's really hard to determine whether which collision was the one that did them in.
Yeah.
At that point. But okay, yeah, with that, I think Lydian's gonna... Yeah, he's gonna head back to the house, and he's maybe gonna check in on Dwight, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Curiosity. Hang on one sec. Okay, yeah.
I was gonna say, I think Cherry might not. She'll, like, ask. Well, here, she'll ask Lydian. I was thinking, in the meantime, would you like me to go and try and build reputation?
That sounds like a mighty fine idea. What you have in mind?
Make small talk to people, ask, you know, oh, were you at that meeting, the town hall today? Did you hear about the thing? Or talk about how, oh, I'm so glad I won't have to worry about, you know, being blind. You know, I'm always worried. I've almost been hit by trams a few times. This elevated one sounds so much better, and, you know, stuff like that. Just try and build a sense of, and then Cherry thinks, it might be a good idea to play some confusion, too, or be, you know, talk about this like it's a done deal, that we are definitely getting this now, that the other rails are going to be consolidated into this or something like that, and just build that, you know, confusion, uncertainty, and that way more people will be acclimated to the idea that...
That sounds like a great idea. Small talk can lead to big things.
I've often found that to be the case.
Yeah, get the people believing that it's a done deal, a foregone conclusion.
Exactly. Alright, so yeah, I will go work on that.
Alrighty.
Do you want me to roll for that or anything?
Yeah, roll charisma.
Ooh, only a 9.
Interesting. Okay. So you're basically just trying to spread rumors, I guess.
Or, you know, like, with spread ambiguity, confusion, like, wait, so is, you know, that... To make it seem a bit more, you know, because technically nothing's concrete yet, but, like, raise into question, wait, so is this, like, happening yet or not? Like,
Yeah.
you know, gaslight people, essentially.
Right. Okay, we'll get back to that.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna pee then, while we do the
Okay. So you head off to check on Dwight.
Yeah, I'm not sure why,
Yeah.
but I figure after yesterday, Lydian feels like maybe I should, because he is part of the reason we're here after all.
Yeah. So yeah, as you walk into the house, you see Dwight sort of sitting down in the living room alone. Sees you come in. Says, "Oh, Lydian, there you are."
Oh, Dwight, you sound mighty chipper. I'm glad to hear it. The meeting's done now, and we made a killing out there.
Went over the public then. That's good. That's good. So, considering my own plans, my own well-laid plans weren't quite what panned out in the end. I gotta know, where am I fitting into all this?
That depends on you, Dwight. Right now, it's not a certain thing. It seems pretty certain. Cherry's out there working to make it certain. I played my little part in making it certain. I figured you would be beating yourself up over nearly driving your... Was it his cousin?
His cousin, yeah.
Yeah. I figured you'd be beating yourself up over nearly driving your cousin into losing his life over a gambit you tried to pull. But it sounds like you're past that now. More fool me to be concerned.
I didn't think Palmer would ever go that far.
But he
I
did.
thought I was doing him a favor.
Lydian kind of like makes a big show of like walking over and maybe sitting down in the chair opposite from a big, like, slow lumbering thing. Business is a cutthroat world, Dwight, but you gotta pick which throats to slit. You go after anyone, nobody's gonna trust you. Go after a family member, they're gonna know you're that ruthless. Anyone you interact with is gonna be wanting to keep you at arm's length. You understand that, right? Well,
Right.
you're a go-getter, and I get that, and you're ambitious, and I get that, and you know what? When you're not being stupid, you can be kind of clever. But you gotta pick your targets. You gotta learn from this.
Right.
Question of
Wow.
where do you fit into this is, I sure as hell don't know, Dwight, because I thought you angled yourself out a bit pretty good.
Let's face it, I'm still the reason you came here in the first place. It's gotta be worth something.
It's worth you bringing me here. Why do you got to conservice me now? We walked through the door and you were treating me like your meal ticket.
Well, I'm gonna have to head back to Marion with Flora at this rate. But, well, I was wondering, you take Cherry on to go around and work socially, don't you? That's her primary job.
Yeah, Lydian's just kind of staring at him, letting him see where he goes with this.
Well, Flora and I have our own ways of getting to know people and getting to run things around. And you're going to be moving on to other pastures soon enough, I'm sure. Maybe I can't offer you anything for Custer right now, but let's say back in Marion, she and I managed to keep, interest high and your interest high in the casino back there. Maybe on a more permanent level.
Lydian leans forward. All right then, Dwight, but you've shaken my confidence in you pretty badly, I'm sure you can understand that, so I'm not gonna go in willy-nilly on no deal like this. So how about we make it a trial basis? You show me that you can earn it, I'll take you on. You gotta you increase profits in that place 10% month on month for 3 months. Then we'll talk.
Talk.
Actually, no, hang on. That might be way too long in game.
Yeah.
Terms. Yeah, should we do week on week? Even that might be a long one.
Damn.
You never know with this party's more given over to rest.
Yeah, true. Should
So
we do
week
like
on week might
Should we
be-
do week on week? Because I think
Yeah.
it'll still work. Yeah. You know what? Let's make that 5% instead of 10, because that's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Jumps. 5% week on week, 3 weeks. I'll take you on. You'll be my guy on the inside and Marion.
Yeah, sounds right. And besides, I know a lot of people down there. I know a lot of people up there. It is north of Custer. But yeah.
Do people actually care that much in cardinal directions in that saying? I don't know.
not sure.
I care.
I've
Yeah.
never cared about like being accurate to. I will say down and mean north. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I
guess
get
it
it
doesn't
mixed
make
up
sense.
sometimes,
Oh,
but
you're
every
fucking
time I do,
Australian,
it
see?
like bothers. Like I'm like I feel like I misspoke and have confused myself if I get it backwards.
It makes sense now I think about it.
Well, what I'm always interested in is because up north, down south, that's really locked in. But like here in the US, we also say like out west or back east. But that seems very, I know they do that in Canada too, but that makes sense with the colonial history here. So I've always wondered, like, in Europe, what people do. But I guess you're both in, like, very tall countries where there's not really much east-west travel comparatively.
Yeah, but I guess maybe I've not just thought about it, but then yeah, you referred to the north a lot. I probably would have set up without thinking about it.
Because, yeah, I say I'm going down to New York or up to New Hampshire. But, like, I would say I'm driving out to Colorado or back to... But then I say, going back to New York or whatever from, like, say, Colorado, because
I mean, that
from
sounds more
the
like
East Coast.
continuity rather than directions.
But, like, I would say back east, that is...
But yeah, Dwight basically just says like that's done. I can do that.
All right. Good luck, Dwight.
In North Carolina, we also... Down East is a thing, but that's sort of an area. And Maine also has an area called Down East, which is interesting to me.
I'll tell you this, Dwight. Every deal has its price, but trust is invaluable. And it's much harder to earn.
Yeah. I've learned that a few times in my life.
How Dwight fails to earn Lillian's respect.
Trust can rarely be bought.
Ooh.
Even
All right, well,
love
he's
can
doing
be
chipper,
bought,
and I
but
guess,
not trust.
wow, is he leaving the party? Is he heading back to Marion?
Him and Flora.
Didn't expect
He's
that.
gonna try and prove himself.
What if he, like, feels he's gotten better than Palmer and tries to seduce Katie?
Have you kind of fucked up?
That would be
Have you
weird.
pretty fucked up? Have you weird and fucked up?
He's done weird and fucked up stuff before.
Just turning to the kids like, I'm your daddy now.
No, that's
Hey,
fucked up.
kids, wouldn't you rather if I was your dad? Your dad seems
Oh.
pretty lame, right? He won't even give you ice cream for every meal.
Meanwhile, your mum, she's boring. All she does is cook. Your new mum, she can turn into animals.
Lydian's just looking at these two kids and then looking at Nico and back at these two kids and back at Nico and like, how come they're normal?
Did I raise Nico wrong?
Probably.
Nico's never wrong.
He's always wrong. What about that time he irradiated himself? Was he right?
Cherry's like, I left
yes.
my child in another country while I wandered the world, and I still feel like I did a better job raising them than Nico. See, this is why I'm so excited for November. So it's coming up. It's getting close.
then we can have 2 autistic children. It will be so cute. Nico Raising Project.
Hey.
Custer Raising Project. Hell's yeah. Oh no, this is good actually.
Oh my lord. So, anything else I have actually would take probably more than 2 hours. So what if we just made this a short sesh?
Okay.
Oh, I'd be okay with that then.
Yeah, okay.
I
Okay with
I
that.
think we need to
I need the what?
oh no, I was gonna say I'm like thinking about I've been weighing since it occurred to me. How much is like how bad is too fucked up for like, sabotaging other rail companies? Because unironically, I think that would be kind of fun. This is a pretty amoral party, but like I'm also trying to reel it in a bit,
I mean, I don't. Yeah, because I can't see into your head. So, like, unless you are planning on somehow engineering an accident which takes lives, I don't. I genuinely don't
Custer's based on New York. Gonna cause Custer's 9/11.
Oh no.
You're gonna call somehow involving both the rail line and a taxi company.
Yeah. Sir, a second rail car has hit the towers.
I've got
Oh my
I've got
God.
an idea for sabotaging the taxi company at least, though it's a really bad idea.
Oh, what's that?
When Cherry hires some actors, gets a lift to a bad part of town, and then calls it on the taxi company when this taxi dropped me off in a dodgy part of town where I got beaten by gangsters.
And you're doing this to Cherry?
Well, that's why you hire actors. She doesn't actually get beaten, she just has makeup.
Battered blind woman. Wow.
This taxi driver did nothing to help.
A single mother. Blind.
Okay, so
Not a good idea.
no bonds updated, I'm assuming, because it
No.
wasn't really
No,
a bond session.
No, not really.
Yeah. But Perry, did you get someone to relax, calm down, and open up to you?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
Nope. Lydian, did you open up a new avenue for coin to flow through?
I think so.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I don't know if it
Yeah.
counted yet, but I guess it does. 'Cause
I will
stuff is
say
moved.
take an XP for that, definitely. Because you've opened up relations with, the city governance. So
Yeah. I have
that's its
I
own
have
thing.
gotten I've gotten my Colton in with local government.
Nice. Yeah, and Nico, did you prove the value of your inventions to others?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
you did.
monorail is
The power source, yeah, it impressed Palmer and impressed quite a few
fucking
people.
bizarre about this situation as well was
What?
this shit was going around. This shit has been going around the last couple days. I only just saw this in like this session. It's the same day as that proposed network of
Yeah.
rail routes.
Oh my god. Wowee.
I'm still excited about that. I hope it happens, but I'm like, this wouldn't help me anywhere. But that's just because I live in, like, the Northeast Corridor. So, like, it's the one part of the country that has, rail.
I hope it goes through because that sounds like it'd be quite
Yeah.
a fun way to travel. Honestly, just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then
The big thing here would be an easier way to get to New Orleans.
yeah.
ooh.
Did
Why
we
would
learn
you-
something new and important about the world?
We learned. Well, actually, no. We knew a lot of it already, but it was like just the competing rail networks and the privatization of the city.
Yeah, I'd take an XP for that. Notable monster enemy?
We
the rail network.
yeah, we
conglomerate.
beat them in
Public
beat them in
opinion.
the marketplace of ideas.
Not yet.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, we
Take-
we
yeah.
just made an enemy.
Yeah, did we loot Memorable Treasure?
We don't even have the contract.
Contract.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
no,
yet.
yeah.
So yeah, no, but take an XP for playing. Well,
Yeah.
again, we're back on track. We'll be back
That's
in
one
like
of
2 weeks,
my
I think.
Worst.
I
Like,
might be at the
recession.
caravan for a week.
In the 22nd?
Actually, no, 22nd. No, 22nd. I will be free probably,
Okay, cool.
assuming I don't get a job.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
that would
Oh,
be free
Man,
then.
that would be Snake getting a job.
No, I
Actually,
mean,
yeah.
I mean a gig rather.
Oh,
A
yeah.
gig.
Oh,
Yeah, a freelance gig. I'll stop recording.